Good morning. I don't know which camera to look into, which one's going to work here. I kind of redid the setup since last time we came out. I came to this place the last time I came out, but it was about a month ago. Since then, I took some time off. Um, we came out towards the end of September, which was, I was on vacation, but I spent that vacation recording a lot of gameplay for the second channel and generally cleaning a lot and then doing the usual amount of wildlife. Saturdays and Mondays have been the schedule throughout all of 2025, and that's been working quite well, I think. Getting to everything that I wanted to do has been really nice, but I got done with that vacation and I was like, man, I took some time, of course, don't get me wrong. At most, if I was recording, I would record for maybe a half of the day and then spend the rest doing whatever I felt like, watching, a fair amount of movies or TV or playing video games, of course. Not recording, just playing them for me. But I got done with all of that. And then the next weekend, I went into editing to get all the vacation stuff edited and up on Patreon, and then all of the normal amount of wildlife stuff edited. And I looked at the schedule and went, oh man, I typically try to release, it's the schedule I've done so far throughout all of 2025, go out twice a month, and on those weekends, four times actual go outside, but then I record. Does that make sense? Am I making any sense? Recording and releasing that, so then it is released every week. This Saturday will come out one week, and the Monday will come out the following week. And anyway, so there's always kind of something. And we're a bit further ahead than I expected, or we were. When I looked at it the first weekend into October and scheduled everything out, I was like, oh, that's well into November. That's enough to the point where I could take the next weekend entirely, not go out, then take the following weekend and not have anything to edit, and still, as long as I go out the next time, which is today, I'd be fine, and there wouldn't be a gap in that, and I got myself ahead to the point where I deserve a full weekend off from the schedule. It's the first time. I don't consider it breaking the streak because everything is still releasing and recording and everything's good, and I don't know, it doesn't matter. I don't want to get into a headspace where I'm like, here's a streak, I have to keep it and things like that. That's going to get tiresome in doing that. But anyway, the point of all that is that I took some time off, so it's been about a month. Last month when we came out here, found a nice little spot. This was new, totally new last month, and technically I've now been here 3 times. You wouldn't know about the second time because it was the last weekend in September where I came out, set up, we saw some things. We are now into October. We're towards the end of October, which means Halloween is next week, which means almost nothing to me because I've never really, that's not my holiday. But it's not, it's other people's holiday. And I don't mind being a part of that. It happens to fall on a Friday night, which is a night where we play D&D anyway. So I am planning to do a Halloween one-shot for the group because everyone seems to be really interested in that, which means I have less than a week in order to really nail down the laugh that I want to do. And I don't think I don't know how often I need to do it, but at the very least there needs to be one good set the tone for the campaign, and there needs to be a and I haven't gotten that yet. I don't know how well it's going to go. I'm going to try my best because every time I try to do it, I keep smiling, and I can feel that coming through that I'm enjoying it, and it's a happy thing. And that's not what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be terrifying. It's supposed to set the scene. I don't know how well I could do that. I'm going to try. I got to, role playing, got to set the scene for him. I'm the DM. That's what it takes. So anyway, the point of that has nothing to do with anything related to this. The last time we came out, and we came to this spot, I set up, we saw the birds. We're into fall. I think we're going to see a bit more because the leaves have been falling. There's clearly still plenty on the trees from what I can see. We are technically out before the sunrise, which is great. Now the sun is rising much later. And so we have time to really set up and get out there and be ready to go by the time the sun is rising, which is what I like. It's chilly. It is technically freezing at 32 degrees out there, so I am bundled up. We'll see. But anyway, when I came out last time, I set up a few different things, and I did more than I usually did all at once, and I think that kind of led to this. A few things led to this. I mentioned it in the last video when we came to this spot right there at the end, but I lost something. I made a little graphic, and hopefully that will remind me to insert the graphic here for that, because it's silly. When we came out, I set up the usual amount of, like, the main camera, the wide-angle camera, so we can get a shot of the landscape and have the two, just in case, which worked out exactly the way I wanted to last time, where we got, a further away shot of the bird once I could no longer, the hawk, once I could no longer keep it in frame. I set up those there. I set up the audio for all of that, which is a separate thing. And then I did an extra audio, which the extra audio is just for Patreon, is like a quiet little, whenever I just have another recorder that I'm not using anymore, an older one, that I was like, I could just stick this somewhere and capture some ambient noise of, whatever. And so I did that. So that was an extra one. And I brought the stool, which I'd been forgetting. So that was an extra step. And then I took the one that I have been doing, which is to take the GoPro and stick it somewhere and let it run. And I forgot to bring the right cable for it. So it was no longer recording after maybe about 30 minutes. Because that battery just didn't really last. And to be fair, the GoPro really gave me some trouble. Like, it really just was a headache for a lot of it. It really has come down to the point where it was failing me in many ways. The battery would die. There's a person walking and I just got distracted. The battery was dying often. I would have corrupted files. I would have things, like I'd set it up to try to get the shot. I had it sitting here between so that you could see out the dashboard. I'm no longer doing that. I don't know if this is in frame. I went ahead, I pulled from savings because I no longer have a camera budget for things the way that the job is gone. But I did really enjoy having two of them. So I got another action camera, but I got a different brand of the one, the one that's treated me much better since I picked it up. So I still have one to go on the chest, should I be doing that, or to use for whatever it is. And I have one that I can set up and get a nice long shot of the landscape, which is what I did the last few times I came out. So I was still putting it to use. And also because I can't adjust the flicker on that one, not the flicker, the rate, the hertz, which when you film a screen, like on the dash, so if I'm looking out there and you see the dash, it's flickering so much and so often. It was so bad. There was one point where I used this camera instead of the GoPro to film out the dash, and it was so much to the point where it was giving me a seizure, and I'm not prone to that in any way or anything. So I went, okay, I can't. No, this is too much. I had to blur it for that reason. It wasn't for privacy or anything. It was simply because the flickering was so bad. I had to completely blur it out. Because even like somewhat blurring so you could see how much it was too much. But anyway. So I've had to rearrange the cameras that are in here for that purpose because the GoPro is gone. Once it was done recording, it's like 30 minutes or 45, however long it was. I remember looking over it a few times because I went, I forgot to bring the right cable. I brought the battery bank, but I forgot the cable to plug it in so it would actually go the whole time. And I should have a battery bank back there now. Today, I believe I do, so I should be able to capture all that. Once that was done, it was simply a matter of, well, what are we going to do? And I just walked off without it. You could actually see it just for a second in the footage as I was kind of walking around getting the like, here's where we went and here's what we saw. Walk around footage. Yeah. I came back for it the following weekend. That was trip number 2 to this exact location. Good spot. I like it here. Quiet, out of the way. Some road noise from here. It's not too far off the path, unfortunately. I'm sure that there will be planes, as there always are. But I liked it. And yeah, I came back the following weekend to hope and see, just in case it was gone. Oh well. Whoever's got it, I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you have less troubles than I did with it. Yeah, I still found a use for it because I try to use everything until it is fully broken. But it was on its way out as it was really getting to the point where it was just unreliable. I would set it up and be like, yeah, this didn't work. But for the past few months, I have taken it with me every time and used it not as the camera that's on my chest because I've had trouble with that, or the camera that, I just set it up in a location and let it go for like 2 hours, however much it would go for as long as it could, and just capture that footage and, use it for different things. It was useful. Oh well. But anyway, I think that's enough here talking in the car. We are here before the sunrise, thankfully. And it is cold. I'm going to get out there and get everything set up before the sunrise. I still have just about 20 minutes, a little more than 20 minutes, and that's about how long I hope it will take us to get fully set up. So let's get on out there and see what we can see today. Maybe more hawks, maybe not. I don't know. It's always a gamble. You never know. But that'll do it. Yep. Let's get out there. All right. Recording devices. 1 and 2 are in the bag. 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 goes in my pocket. I think I'm done for today. Let's get out of here. All right. Well, saw a lot of starlings. It is what it is. That's fine. Oh, this hat makes my head itchy. I think it's because it's kind of too tight, but one size fit all does not mean one size is going to fit me with my big melon. What can I say? Anyway, a lot of starlings. That was basically all we saw were starlings today. And that's okay. This very place, a month ago, I decided I would stop hating on myself going, oh, starlings, they're cool, but invasive and everything. It just doesn't matter. It's a bird. Birds. Cool. Birds. Good. Saw good birds. Obviously, there's more to it than that. Obviously, there needs to be things taken care of and done about that. It's unfortunate, the history, but we're not worried about that. I didn't do it. I'm just here to document and see what I see. And I saw starlings today. I saw a lot of them. No hawks or anything. Northern flicker for just a flicker of a moment. And some sheep. I guess the property across the water is someone's land, and they have a flock of sheep. And so I heard quite a lot and saw them for one moment while I'm watching the flicker. It has landed, and I go, oh, that's different. Get the lens focused on that and everything. And then I hear like the snap of a branch. I thought over near me, but it was actually across the water over near me. I made sure that there's nobody, coming around, needs to use the space or whatever if I'm interrupting anything as it is, or someone's come up to watch me, which has happened. But no, it's sheep getting drink by the water. I did the best I could, but it was just with this. Obviously, I was focused on the actual star of the show, the birds, and I wouldn't have had a good shot had I just taken the camera and spun it around real quick to try to get the sheep drinking by the water. It would have been a nice shot, if it was clear, but there were branches and everything, which is why I think they came down, because once they saw me, they went, oh, I guess we don't want to be here, and ducked back up onto their land. But anyway, that was pretty much it. Hey, we got what we got, and it'll be what it'll be. That's the best that we could do. I'm glad we made it back out. I'm glad I'm back in that routine. We'll see what Monday holds when we grab a camera and go somewhere else and see something else, probably. But who knows? This is how it goes. It's a gamble. You never know what you're going to see or not see, and sometimes not see. But it is what it is. Bye, buddy. I realized I did like a look that way and that way, like, I'm done talking now. Guess I got nothing else to say, but I had sunglasses on so you couldn't see it. This doesn't, just the end of it. We're in.